Morning Facebook, how are you? Good. It is 20 to 12 on a Monday morning, so technically that is Monday lunchtime. It's lunchtime enough for me.
Yes, it is almost lunchtime.
Cool. That's why we've cracked open the mulled wine. No?
No, did we?
I must have missed the memo. And there we are, we're live on Facebook group. So, we are doing a double header today. So we're going to do 2 episodes because we'd quite like to have some time off next week for Christmas. It's very important, I think, to get a work-life balance.
Work-life balance, yeah.
We should talk about that, shouldn't we?
Let's.
Yeah, okay.
No, well...
No, it's good. Let's go into it. So, yeah, the idea is, guys, we're going to do episode 4, which is work-life balance. Now, usual format, 30-35 minutes. We'll then probably take a break for 5, 10, 15 minutes just to get going. Hi Matt, how are you? This is the live element where we can actually see who's watching. We're going to take a 5-10 minute break and we'll come back with episode 5, which is all about goal setting. Something that obviously a lot of people are doing this time of year. By the time it goes out on iTunes, people have done it. Hi Matt again. Sorry, we've got a little bit of a delay here where the comments do come up, but yeah, do keep the comments coming as always, guys. If you do want to comment during the episode, we are watching live. I say there's normally about 20-30 second delay, but if you've got any questions, do ask them in here. We will try and cover them at some point during the live broadcast, during the live recording rather. If we can't do it during the audio recording, we will pick it up literally after we finish. After I hit the wrong button, as I did last week, and cut us off in our prime.
Cut me off in my prime, actually.
Well,
I don't know, yeah.
I don't know about your prime, but yeah.
I get a couple of words in every now and again.
So without any further ado, let's press the right button and let's get recording on episode 4, Work-Life Balancing. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, and welcome once again to episode 4 of the Big Idea Podcast. My name is John, and I'm here, as always, with my friend, long-time associate and colleague, Mr. Jason Brockman.
Good morning, everyone.
Unless you're
watching it in the evening, and a good evening to you then.
So, welcome once again, as I say, to the Big Idea Podcast, where it is our job to help small businesses think bigger. As always, this is filmed in front of a live Facebook audience. Jason, how can the wonderful people, the wonderful listeners to this podcast partake in the live recording of this very show?
Well, they just pop along to Facebook, have a look, put in the search bar, Big Idea Podcast, join the group, we'll approve you, and you're in. That's it. Every lunchtime on a Monday, you'll be able to catch us streaming live out and recording this podcast.
Okay. For a moment now, I thought you were going to say every lunchtime, because I can't do it every day.
Not every day, just every Monday.
There's a reason we can't do it every day, and that's because we like to have a work-life balance.
I know, that's the topic of today's...
That was like a seamless link almost, wasn't it? So, I mean, this is... When we originally planned these podcasts, we kind of said, look, here's about 40 subjects we'd like to tackle. Work-life balance was on the list, but we found from the Facebook community that literally within kind of 1 or 2 episodes, we had 3 different people asking about work-life balance. And so I think it's a topic we need to tackle quite early on, because I think it's clearly something that lots of people struggle with, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a difficult thing to do. You have to either work or you have to have a family. Trying to have both at the same time just really is difficult for a lot of people.
It is. And I think most people that do struggle with it, and I've struggled with it myself in the past, are trying to achieve balance rather than balancing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a key differentiator between the two, is you'll never achieve perfect balance. And I liken this to a seesaw. So if you imagine an empty seesaw and it's just yourself, if you stand on the very middle of that seesaw, you will achieve balance, but you won't actually achieve anything else because you will have no momentum in either direction. You're not actually going to see or saw. You're just going to stand there
and wobble a lot.
It is. So, to me, you know, one side is family, one side is work. You've got to go one direction, then the other. I mean, I talked about this in a few episodes ago about when I was sat in the MOT centre reading Alan Sugar's autobiography, and at that time I was kind of working 100-hour weeks, growing this massive business that I thought I wanted. You know, 100-hour weeks was kind of a badge of honour for me. You know, it's kind of, you'd meet up with other business owners and they'd say, "Oh, I work 70 hours a week." Oh, I do 100. Oh, I do all-nighters. You know, I work harder than you. And it was kind of, it was a badge of honour. It was, you know, friends and family didn't come into it. You know, the relationships certainly with family suffered as a result. My health suffered as a result. But, you know, I thought I was doing a fantastic job of working these 100-hour weeks. Then next thing you know, I've got a baby. And obviously you had kids long before me. But the moment that I knew Jack was arriving, things changed. And just, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. It's like, right, well, this doesn't make sense anymore. So I now need to achieve that work-life balance. I say, reading Alan Sugar's book, for those of you who hadn't heard the story before, I was literally sat in this MOT garage reading about someone who I thought I wanted to emulate in terms of Sir Alan Sugar. And this one line leapt out of me. So I found out that Sarah was pregnant, I think, the week before. So I knew, oh, you know, I'm going to be a first-time dad. And I read this line and it said, "I never really knew my kids when they were growing up. And just thought, oh shit. It was just that light bulb moment of, actually, I don't want to be like this guy. And then I remembered reading Richard Branson's autobiography, and all of a sudden this line leapt out at me that I remembered from there, which was, I never really knew Holly or Sam when they were growing up. It was like, Jesus, I've been emulating these guys, I've been hero worshipping them, and these guys don't know their children. They didn't have that work-life balance. They were all work and no life. I mean, okay, you could argue that, you know, Richard Branson in particular did go the other way, but certainly I think when his kids were very young, yeah, he was off creating Virgin, and yeah, he created a behemoth of a company there. But in terms of the work-life balance, no, he had no life.
And we don't want an airline.
No, exactly. I think given the choice, he wouldn't possibly have the airline again. But I say it all changed for me with Jack. And so about 9 months after he was born, Sarah went back to work, and I then became part-time daddy daycare. So I went from doing those 100-hour weeks in the business to effectively I've got 20 to 25 hours a week, which means that I can't just dick around doing stuff, refreshing stats, moving stuff around a web page, whatever, for, you know, all my time. I've got to use the 80-20 principle and say, well, actually, like, if I've only got these 20 hours a week, I can only do the 20% of stuff that gets 80% of the results. And everything else has just got to be outsourced. And that made a huge difference, because all of a sudden, literally within a couple of weeks of starting that, I realised I've been wasting these hours. Yes, I was working, for those on audio who didn't see the imaginary quotes in the air then, but I was working 100-hour weeks, but, you know, in terms of actual purposeful effort that made a difference to the business, I was probably doing 3 hours a week.
And lots of people are in the same boat. Lots of people are busy and making themselves busy, and, you know, checking emails, refreshing emails, and all of those things, which really just take time. They don't actually take any, you know, they don't give you any movement forward in your business. Yeah. They're just time killers, time suckers or something, isn't it?
Time vampires.
Vampires, that's the one I'm thinking of, yes. Time vampires. And you want to eliminate them. That's it. You need to kind of get rid of those. So you can spend a bit more time doing stuff that actually makes a difference.
Yeah, it is. It's the stuff that matters. And I think The key thing for getting the balance is applying strict boundaries. So, and I say, boundaries apply to everything. So it applies to work, it applies to family, it applies to health, it applies to me time. So what I tend to do is I plan my days, I plan my weeks, I plan my months, and we'll talk about this in the next episode when we're talking about goal setting. But I have a weekly planner, and it's literally broken down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I will literally block out stuff. So I will say, right, I'm going to the gym tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. That time is blocked out. It's protected. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not checking emails then. This week is probably a really good example because we're actually recording this the week before Christmas. So the kids are off school, and yet you'll notice we record this in my kitchen. If I just, if I just hush down for just a second. Yep, you can hear that the children actually aren't here. And the reason they're not here is because in order to get that work-life balance, I've protected this time, and I've said to Sarah, could you take the kids out for an hour and a half so that Jason and I can record a podcast? Not a problem, she says. So, she might turn up in a minute, in which case I could be to my words. But this time is protected. This is work. So we are now working, we're doing the podcast for the next hour and a half. Then I've blocked out, I'm taking the kids to the local railway, we're going on a Santa steam train, there's going to be mince pies, that's family time. So those 3 hours are then protected. As I said, the gym time is protected. I schedule in business meetings, phone calls, nativity plays, assemblies, sports days. I even schedule in time for just checking emails, because otherwise the checking emails, the dicking around on Facebook, that fills the time that you've got. It just expands to fill the time that is available to you. So I don't want to fill. So I block out the time that's important. So that is doing the family stuff, doing the gym, doing the panto with the kids, doing our mini masterminds with our local members. Family day, we have every Friday we have a family day, which is literally I finish work at midday on a Friday. I then spend the afternoon with Sarah, just the two of us. So we get the important time for just the two of us to actually have a relationship with each other, which doesn't revolve around the children or our businesses or our work. Then we both pick the kids up and we'll spend 3 hours with the children. Every Friday, that is family day. That is protected. Apart from last week when I went to London, and the week before when I went to Manchester, and the week before that when I went to Bristol. But other than my UK tours, that
it's
time
protected
is
time.
It is. But I know that actually, occasionally, I've got to move further down one end of the seesaw. Mm-hmm. And I've got to say, well, actually, family day's cancelled this week because I've got to go to Manchester for a meeting. Family day's cancelled this week because I've got to go to Bristol for a mastermind meeting. Family day's cancelled this week because I've got to go and have a jolly in London. But then the flip side of that is, I will say, during the summer holidays, for example, work's cancelled this Friday because I'm going to a water park. Mm-hmm. Work's cancelled Monday morning because I'm going to the zoo with the kids, or I just fancy doing something with the kids. We're going out for ice cream, so I'm not going to work. For me, you've got to be kind of all in one mode or the other. So I'm either 100% in work mode, I'm 100% in family mode, or I'm 100% in gym mode, or relaxation mode, or me time mode. I'm all in. I'm not stood on the middle of that seesaw, wobbling one way, wobbling the other way, and achieving the square root of bugger all. Mm-hmm. And I say, when I first made that change, just after Jack was born, it was almost like an instant weight was lifted off my head. It's less stressed, relationships improved, health improved significantly, but also as a business we started making more money, because all of a sudden I'm not dicking around on Facebook, I'm not checking emails 35 times an hour, I'm not just sitting there refreshing my stats. I'm saying, well, actually, I've only got 3 hours now before I've got to pick Jack up, or literally I'll put him down for a nap at home. And I think, right, I've got 90 minutes to 2 hours that he will sleep. What do I need to achieve in those 2 hours? Right, I'm 100% into this task now, and I've got a deadline, because deadlines get things done. So, we when he first arrived on the scene, I said I was doing a 100-hour week, so I went from doing about a quarter of the hours that I used to, and then all of a sudden the company's making 10 times what it was. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen instantly, but that was the effect. And I remember at the time I had a blog, and I remember writing a blog post about the announcement that I was going part-time and that I was going to apply the 80-20 principle, and as long as I did the 20% of stuff that got the 80% of the results, we'd be okay. And it's like, well, actually, you fast forward, that was 8 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And you fast forward 8 years, and think actually it was more than okay. We should have bloody done that 10 years earlier. Yeah. But it was difficult because at the time, the people I was hanging around with were also working 100 hours a week. Mm-hmm. Very proud of it. Many of them still are. And they're proud of the fact that they're working themselves into the ground, and they don't know their family, and they're basically screwing their life over. Mm-hmm. Because they are just completely down one end of that seesaw, and they're not actually working effectively. So it worked for me. It has done for 8 years. What we've done now is we've kind of rolled that out to the whole company. And that's been quite interesting, hasn't it?
It is, yeah. Because people take it different ways. Everyone's got different priorities, and we just need to kind of make sure that work becomes a priority. Like you've done, you protected the work time as well as the family time. For those people, it works. That we have with us now, it works really well for. They do juggle their school runs and do juggle. Some people don't like working during the day, and it's a nighttime thing for them, and they enjoy doing that, and that works for them too.
It is. I mean, we've actually written it into everyone's contract now. There's this phrase that I love, which says, "We are an ambitious lifestyle business, or an ambitious lifestyle company." One of the two.
We wrote it in, yeah.
We did write it in. We don't look at the contracts that often.
It's one of our mantras. We say it every day.
Yeah. But it's just because the lifestyle is important to us. And when I say us, I mean everyone. It's not just us as the business owners, but lifestyle is important to everyone within the company. So yeah, no one works set hours. If you can get your work done in 2 hours in the morning, and you want to go to the beach in the afternoon, crack on, go for it. You want to sleep all day and build code through the night, because we know it's coders that tend to do that sort of thing. Yeah, go for it. You want to work around school runs, or you want to play golf with your granddad whilst you still can. Sure thing. As long as you remember that we're an ambitious lifestyle company, so it's not all about the lifestyle. We are also ambitious, and we are a business. We are here to make money. So yeah, everyone works from home. We've got no sort of set offices. You haven't got to do a 9 to 5 chained to a desk. They all do flexible hours to suit their lifestyle. But when the shit hits the fan, or we're in the middle of a huge marketing campaign, it's payback time, and it's kind of, right, everybody, you need to come down this end of the seesaw now. Mm-hmm. We're now down the business end. It is now all hands to the pump. 100-hour weeks are back on, but you maybe do a 100-hour week twice a year when we've got a massive campaign on. The rest of the time, it's if you can get your work done in 20 hours a week, get it done in 20 hours a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've had it hasn't been for everyone, has it?
No. it's not for everybody. Everybody, that's why people go and work in a supermarket for 40 hours a week. It's not for everyone. Some people are unable to work from home because there's just too many distractions and too many other things to do. It's not for everyone. It does need a bit of discipline, and it does need a little bit of drive.
Yeah, it's that self-discipline, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had to sack 2 people, I think, who've kind of abused. No, abused is kind of a strong word, but didn't fit say, with this setup, and it won't work for everyone. We've got now, I think, a small team of incredibly happy, self-motivated members of staff who achieve a hell of a lot. You know, and I've worked as a civil servant in a team of clock watchers, Jobsworths, and yeah, I know which I prefer. You know, it's so much easier to have this setup where you've got, you know, everyone's job description has, again, in the contract, there's no such thing as not my job in this job. And I think, you know, yeah, we don't ask people to do the ridiculous. We don't ask the coders to go out there and deliver marketing presentations. We don't ask the copywriters to go and clean the toilets. You know, it just, you know, we do ask a lot of our members of staff most of the time, but it's nothing that they're not capable of and they're not happy to achieve. So I think if we sum up how we deal with this whole work-life balance, I love this idea of the seesaw. You know, you can go down one end of the seesaw and you can achieve lots with work. You can go down the other end and you can achieve lots with your lifestyle, with your friends, with your family, with your health, with your relaxation. What most people do is they get pulled in loads of different directions. So they're sat at the park with their kids and they'll whip out their phone and they're checking emails, and they're not effectively being there for their kids, and they're not effectively answering those emails because they're flitting between the two. So be 100% focused on what you're doing on that one task. Block out your time. Block out the time for work, block out the time for life, and then just protect those boundaries. And I mean protect them with your life. I mean, perfect example again this morning. Friend of mine knocked on the door this morning, literally an hour before we were recording the podcast, completely unannounced. Hi John, is it good to pop in for a coffee? No, it's not. And you know, he was a little put out. I'll be honest, you know, he turned up to see me. I've turned him away. But at the end of the day, I'm protecting this time because it'd be very easy for me to say, yeah, come on in, mate, have a cup of coffee. I can check some emails whilst you're doing that, and I can kind of do that. But it won't happen because I'm not focused on him, and I'm not focused on my work. So, sorry, mate, but out the door you go. I'm focused on my work. Come back tomorrow after 4, because then I've got some spare time, and I've blocked that out for you. And I'm then going to actually spend some time with you, and we're going to have a really good chat, and it's going to be a fantastic conversation, and we're going to have a brilliant time. But I'm going to achieve the work I want to achieve first. Yeah, don't check emails on your phone when you're meant to be with your kids. Be with your kids 100% of the time. And remember that nobody ever lies on their deathbed and wishes they'd spent more time in the office. So get out there, work to live, and don't live to work. Did I get those the right way around?
Yes.
Good. Yes. So
Yes.
we've got a new feature on the podcast this week, which is Jason Brockman's Tool of the Week. So Jason, tell us all about what is the Tool of the Week and what is this week's Tool of the Week.
This week's Tool of the Week, I think, is Trello. I've gone for Trello this week. It's basically, think of your notice board with lots of post-it notes. It's pretty much like that. You can organise it however you like. So we, as a business, we have a Trello board that's set up for marketing. We have a Trello board set up for customer service. We have a Trello board set up for development. So that covers each kind of area of our business. And in there, we'll have kind of the jobs. The jobs all go on there. We can have the communication between the team. We can discuss what needs to be done on each of those boards. We can then also schedule things in. We can add checklists, that sort of stuff. So we kind of set it up in that way. Having said that, I mean, I know we were talking about it in our business growth group the other day. We can apply that to kind of any business really. You can schedule your job. So we have a handyman who does his job. So we said use Trello. You can put your job in there. You can put your checklist of what you need to buy. You can put in when you've sent the invoice, when you've done all of those things, and it can all be in one. You can take your photographs of the job. That can be uploaded there too. and it's nice and simple, nice and easy. It's in one place. You can archive it, so you can come back to it whenever you need to, and it's there right in front of mind every time you want to go. It's Trello.com. Trello.com, yeah, not Trello.com. Trello.com, Trello, Trello.com, and you can grab the app for your pads or your phones or the computer. So it's nice.
So is it a multi-person thing? So if we've got a team of say 10 people, each person could have their own login. Can you allocate tasks to
Absolutely
people?
do that, yeah. So if you're a one-man band, it's great. It's all there and nice and easy to do. It's free. Say that again. It's free. If you're a multi-team person, then yeah, absolutely. Each individual will have a login to the system, and they can access the boards that you'd like them to see. You can allocate the tasks or the little post-it notes to each one if you need to. And you can have conversations on the thread. You can upload your files that you want to do. It's kind of all in one place.
Good. And all done via. So you can use the iPhone app. You can use
your iPhone app. You can use all the apps.
Desktop as well.
All on the desktop. Yeah, it's kind of any access anywhere, and you can take it out and have a look and see where everybody's at. So if you've got a checklist, it tells you how many things you've ticked off, so how far along the route you are. So if you've got your sales funnel in there, then you can use it for a sales funnel and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's I like it. It's really good, and the team like it as well. So
very good.
Two thumbs.
Let us know how you get on with that, guys. We're going to be offering you a weekly tool of the week, and we'd be keen to know, first of all, how you get on with them. What you actually think of them. Let us know via the Facebook group. Obviously, we will drop the link for Trello and all the tools of the week into the show notes, which is bigidea.co.uk/podcast. Or, of course, you can leave us your thoughts in the Facebook community. Jason, how do they get into the Facebook community again?
You'll remember, because I only mentioned it a few moments ago. In the search bar, you just put Big Idea Podcast, hit search, it will come as the group. Click to add yourself to the group, we'll approve you, and you're in.
Fantastic. So, do comment on this episode. Let us know anything you'd like us to cover in future episodes. You can watch the live recording of each week's podcast, usually on a Monday lunchtime. That's about it. So, thank you once again for listening, guys. Next week, we are back with another episode where we are looking at goal setting. We're actually going to do Change Your Ways in 90 Days. A slightly different take on goal setting. If you're used to sort of smart goals or anything like that, you may be disappointed. So, on that bombshell, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See, I didn't cut you off this week. Very good.
Very good.
That was a short one, 25 minutes.
Well, we've got to get two in today, so...
Yeah, we'll just rush through them, Cool. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Hopefully we covered everything. I say it was a short one with 25 minutes, but hopefully we've covered work-life balance for you. If not, please do let us know. If you've got any comments or questions, leave them within the thread. And we will be back in about 5 or 10 minutes when we will be looking at goal setting. So, thanks a lot, guys, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Leg it around the corner.